Welcome to Run It Back Philly. DJ Eastwood doesn't need your motherfucking intro.
My man VR Heem in the Discord.
Yo, what's going on, DJ?
What's up, man?
Nothing much. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this game. Overall, I thought we played pretty well, but my main problems with this game, just going into the playoffs, is that we are so stagnant sometimes. We just get so we just get caught ball watching. There was a couple plays, I think, in the third where it was James Harden and Embiid on one side of the court, and literally, if you look at the other side of the court, everyone else is just standing and watching.
Yep.
And they're over there. James Harden got trapped, and he's trying to pass the ball or try to get something going, and literally nobody's doing anything. Maxey is just standing there. Tobias was just standing there, and we just don't do anything. And I don't know how much that is to. And trust me, I love blaming stuff on Doc, but I don't know how much that is to blame on Doc or just the players just not thinking. I literally don't know that. I don't understand it sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think do you see players bring the ball up? Yeah, I don't know. NBA players are different. In high school and college, a lot of times you'll see a player bring the ball up and call a play out with his hands, literally what the coach told him just to do. In the NBA, is it more yo, you guys go run the plays that you want to run? I don't know.
And I feel that's one of the problems we're kind of having. This is just what I think with the coaching staff, is that they don't know when to let the players just kind of have the game and play, and when to start calling actual plays. And something else I wanted to talk about is that with the rotations, as soon as we got James Harden, Doc literally said that he's trying to have it so that at all times we have two of our four main guys. Mm-hmm. And back-to-back games, he'll have it was later in the second. It was 4 minutes left in the second. And literally the only starter he had out was Maxey. And it was literally Maxey, DeAndre Jordan, I think it was Danny Green, might have been Shake Milton, and George Niang. And I'm looking at the floor, and I'm and they have I think Devin Booker was on the floor, and they had DeAndre Ayton. I'm what are we doing right now? What do we have going on? I just don't understand.
It's always the end of the third quarter lineup for him. He always just goes, because he wants to preserve his guys so much for the fourth quarter, that he just goes deep bench for 5 straight minutes. Every single game, it feels like, and it's always the other team. It's always a bad matchup versus what's on the floor for the other team, and it kills us every time.
and the crazy part is, before he took out Toby, he was doing good. That's when he was literally carrying us in that one stretch where James Harden and Embiid were sitting out, and he was literally doing good, and then he doesn't put him back in, and I just don't understand it sometimes.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, man. I guess we're gonna find out what Doc has when these playoffs come around.
And one more positive thing before I get out of here is, honestly, I thought overall we played this game pretty well, and if we made a couple more, if we had 5% more of our shots go in, we could honestly probably have won this game, because a lot of our shots they were good looks, they just weren't going in, or they would just have a stupid call like that. I was so mad. Shake Milton made a nice three, but it got called for, I think, a moving screen on DeAndre. Yep. And I was just damn,
yeah, it's little things like that, and it's a make or miss game. And the game that we won against Miami without Embiid or Harden, we were making a lot of shots, so
Mm-hmm.
you make a couple more shots and they miss a couple shots, different game. So I agree, man. Thanks for calling as always, bro.
No problem. Appreciate it.
Yep, later. Shane Butler in the Discord. You ready, Shane? All right, we still don't have Shane. Kilowatt. Am I saying your name right? Kilowatt in the Discord. Going once. Going twice.
Got you, dude.
Kilowatt, what's up?
Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you.
Am I saying your name right? Am I saying your username right?
Yeah, Kilowatt.
Oh, all right, Kilowatt. What's up, man?
From YouTube. Not too much, man. The 3 points I had was Doc Rivers. He one of the things that Danny Green had said about him on his pod was the fact that he runs a lot of plays on his clipboard, and the players literally lose total distraction of what's actually being drawn for them. They'll get into the play, go to inbound the ball, and they're what are we running again? And that's where they end up just being flat. They come out great in the first half because they're running a lot of motion and everything else, but the pick and roll seems to be that steady thing that they go to. If they're not running that, everything falls off.
Did Danny Green say that on his podcast?
Sorry, pardon me?
Danny Green talked about the coaches' plays on his podcast?
No, he mentioned when he left the team, the way in with being with Doc Rivers as having him as a coach, is the observation that he draws a lot of plays for them, and then when they get to the floor, they forget what motion they're running, what they're even doing.
That sounds like an issue.
Exactly, and that's why they end up running this 5 out. Everybody's watching the ball, waiting for James Harden to create for them. Right, because if James Harden's not creating for them, they're not moving.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm also annoyed that Danny Green talks on his podcast about the team. Like, I
don't know. It is what it is with him.
He also said on his podcast that he could see the Boston Celtics coming out of the East. Like, what? No. You're on the Sixers, bro, and you're sitting like. Yeah. You know what I mean? He acts like he's an ESPN analyst who's retired. Like, the guy just doesn't make sense to me. I can't stand him. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, he needs to get his head right. Embiid's foot.
Say that again?
Right, Embiid's foot.
Oh, yeah.
When he injured his, messed up his foot.
Yeah.
Maxey got absolutely annihilated. 2 guys on him. He got mauled. Embiid grabbed the board, and that's when he messed up his foot. Yes, fully agree. The reffing needs to be questioned. It needs to be looked at. The coach needs to talk to the league and say, hey, appeal this, look at this game. You guys are really protecting. Like, Book, he's the golden boy of the whole league, right? You can't touch Book.
Yep,
the last minute in the third quarter, when he had that little touch foul and he went down, that was like they took the breath right out of the game for those guys. Right, they came back 2 more times, 4 minutes left, I think, in the fourth quarter, and it was a nice move on their part because they closed the gap again. But again, another touch fell on Book, and it took the breath. They went up by 8, and it was done after that.
Yeah, that's what's frustrating to me. Like, I like to see a game. You know, if the Phoenix Suns are a better team, I'm not going to say they're not, but it's just frustrating and annoying for me to watch a game be decided. Big moments of a game be decided by a whistle. You just sucks.
I fully, as a coach myself, I fully agree. All I'm getting at as a coach, again, myself, edifying that nothing replaces a player that may get fouled on a play. Hear you? He still gets back on D and he hustles back and he checks that player, right? Because the next time that he gets maybe a steal or gets a play, he's heading to the basket. The refs are going to be watching this guy more favorably for that call. And those are the times where you're going to get transition. You know, the ball has synergy and you pass the ball around on the horn and hits the 3, whatever. That's where the synergy gets created. So, yeah, nothing replaces D, man. Thank you so much for setting up the Discord and everything you've done for us, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for calling in, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, and like speaking of getting foul calls and not getting back on defense, James Harden is another thing that he has to stop doing. You have to accept this is the way the refs are calling it. I'm not saying it's right. You have to accept this is the way they're calling it. You can't be standing back there yelling at the damn referee while the opposing team is running a fast break and you're not even attempting to cross half court. You know, it makes me a little bit nervous because watching James Harden his whole career, he has mastered. I'm not calling him a free throw merchant or baiting fouls or anything like that. He has mastered getting defenders to foul him. And now that the NBA said we're just not calling it anymore, it makes me a little bit nervous because sometimes he looks like, especially at this point in his career, that outside of getting that foul call driving to the rim, he doesn't have anything else to offer sometimes. I know that sounds like an overreaction to some people, but it makes me a little bit nervous. You know what I mean? I just want to see him accept the fact that they're calling it this way and adjust. You know? Adjust. Add a mid-range to your game. I know you can shoot. Add a mid-range to your game. You don't always have to drive all the way in and lean in and try to draw a bunch of contact. Maybe just add a mid-range jumper to your game. So, you know, we'll see if he does that.